and welcome to another episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. This episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast is sponsored by Model 55. Model 55 provides turnkey model apartment and design solutions for senior living communities, combining quick nationwide service with deep expertise in creating model apartments. Model 55's designs are more than just aesthetically pleasing. They are strategically designed to drive occupancy and sales. From custom designs to ready-to-ship kits, Model 55 has solutions for any budget. For more information, www.model55.com. That's model55.com. I'm Julie Podewitz, CEO and founder, and I am delighted today to welcome Jenni Bost to the show. Hi, Jenni.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. This is the first time I'm meeting you, so I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better and picking your brain just a little bit here in a couple days before Thanksgiving. Jenni is the VP of Marketing, Vice President of Marketing for Radiant Senior Living.
Yes.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about Radiant, where you're based, and a little bit about your company.
Absolutely. So Radiant is based in Portland, Oregon. It is a family-owned and operated operation. We have 12 communities right now in 5 states. We serve independent living through memory care, and owned by James and Jody Guffey, and they took on the company from Jody's family. So it's actually been around for over 50 years, really, working in the industry and all of that. So definitely a family feel to this company. I have been here 11 years.
Wow, 11 of the 12 years. Always in a marketing role, Jenni?
Yes. So I started out as a social media and marketing specialist. My background is I have a journalism degree, and then I went into content marketing and SEO specialist in my own business. And then I wanted to give back a little bit, and so I stumbled into the world of senior living.
You know, so many people start in senior living that way, sort of stumbling in, and gratefully that such great talent does. And usually once you stumble in, you don't ever leave, right? Because it's such a great industry. So was that something you literally kind of stumbled into it? Someone recommended you, or how did you even know about senior living?
So I was running a entertaining blog, which I still actually get to run. James and Jody are very supportive of my creative endeavor on the side. So I was running this entertaining blog and my side business, and in the midst of it, I was feeling like I needed to do more and give back. And so I started looking for jobs in nonprofits and healthcare, and senior living came around, and a job opening for Radiant popped up and was of interest, mostly because my grandparents helped raise me. And so that just really piqued my interest, and they gave me a chance. So I was lucky to have that.
I love that. You know, each one of us was given a chance. So
Exactly.
if you think about that, you know, and doing interviewing and meeting new people, it's like, look, someone gave me a chance, someone gave you a chance, and give more people, you know, a chance, and bring more great talent. And it's needed more and more and more and more. Yeah.
It really
So
is.
it's great to meet you. So Jenni, a couple things I want to pick your brain today. Radiant Senior Living, and you're the head of marketing. I understand that you do not use lead aggregators at all.
We do not. No.
Okay.
We did prior. We had for many years, and then in 2021 we stopped.
Okay, so it's been for 3-ish years.
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask you what it was that prompted that decision to stop?
Lots of reasons, but basically there was just a time that we finally realized that the amount of leads we were getting and the amount that we're closing just didn't add up. The amount of time that was being spent on all of these leads, and we started to look at the cost of that time. Not only the cost of those move-ins, which is a significant cost, But the cost of the time that was being spent, because we had really good leads coming in from our websites. We had good leads coming in from our local referral partners, both paid and not paid referral partners. And we weren't spending as much time with them as we were with these low converting leads that were coming in, because they were taking all of our time. We were on top of speed to lead. We were doing all of the things that we're supposed to be doing. And so that was really the kicker. It's like, if we could spend just a fraction of that time with these other leads that are already ours, I bet we could convert better. And it took a little bit of convincing. There was a lot of data involved and a lot of talking about it. But the people I thought would take the most convincing was my sales team, and they were on board immediately.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting. And I'm guessing is because of the time spent spinning wheels, so to speak. I don't think people
absolutely.
mind spending time. We don't mind spending time with our prospects, doing home visits and phone calls and that, but to sort of that spending the time and energy for what outcome?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was, I really thought it would be such a hard win for them. But when I laid it out about the reasoning that we had, they all were just so on board, because they were spending not only time managing the leads themselves and trying to get connections with people who didn't really want to even be connected with them. They were also having to manage the aggregator referral partners, having to update them about their own leads over and over and over again. And so they really were on board with it. My bosses were on board with the savings. They were nervous, of course.
Sure.
I was nervous. I was like, oh, I know that our leads are going to drop, and that's going to be really hard. And that means I'm going to have to do a better job on my end. So there was a lot of nervousness going into it. And we did see a very significant drop in leads, of course. But in 6 months, we saw an increase of 78% of move-ins.
You saw in 6 months, you saw a 78% increase in overall move-in or conversion
Yes.
metric.
Overall movements. Now, part of this was timing, 2021.
Yeah.
Yes, part of this was absolutely timing. Our conversion metrics went up like crazy as well. It was such a big difference. Our time was being better spent. But that growth has been sustained.
That's great.
So we had a huge growth in the beginning, but each year we continue to have more move-ins.
What are the salespeople telling you they're spending their time instead of chasing down? Like, in what way are they spending time that they didn't have before that's yielding such great success?
Yes. For one, before, outreach was not a big push for us. So in part of this, we did a lot of changes to our outreach strategy, and really based our strategy on occupancy based strategy. So it changes based on their occupancy, where they're needing to go, who they need to touch base with, what programs they're using. And so we started implementing that and, inspecting what we expect and following up on it and training better on it, all of those pieces. And they're doing it and it's working. And so that was a big thing, because they weren't able to spend that time before. So a big portion of that saved time went to that outreach. The other portion is better discovery. And that seems to be something that needs to be continually revisited, because it's something that can easily be forgotten when you're in the midst of things and going. You'll see the calls get shorter and the discovery get less, and your inquiry to tour go up, but your tour to move in go down. So we keep revisiting that one and retraining on that one. But that definitely, the time going there for our leads that we are able to capture organically or with those local trusted partners. Those are the ones that we are really able to spend a lot more time with.
Obviously paying off.
It is. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Real quickly, I didn't ask you, Jenny, Radiant is 12 years in its current inception and
Mhm.
the leadership. The portfolio is comprised of independent through memory care, is that
Yes,
right?
we have
Okay,
independent assisted, residential care and then memory care.
okay, all right. And how large, like how many total, what's your total capacity? I was sort of kind of like,
Yeah, I think we're around,
or
uh, I think we're around 1,200 right now.
okay, okay, just to give people an idea. I mean, this, even
Mhm.
if that 78% increase was certainly due to some other factors, but even if you cut it in half,
Yes,
which is drastic, it's still, I mean, that's massive. So
yeah,
it's
it was big,
obviously paying off that time. And really, we all have a finite amount of it, right?
right,
So we don't have too much, I didn't have, I was actually on a coaching session last week where the sales director said, I don't have time to make my phone calls.
Mhm.
And if you're, that's one of the, we're all in this narrow, we should be looking at what one or two things or two or three things
Right,
we should be doing in our job, or like that narrow focus. Phone calls would be in that top three for sure in sales. So
absolutely.
what else are you doing where you don't have time for that? And outreach, it sounds like that does fall off the plate.
Yes,
Yeah,
outreach
very
falls off the
easily.
plate easily because
Yeah.
it takes time to get out and do things
Yeah,
and then
it
follow up
does.
with those people, but it's so important. Those referrals will convert at 40 to 50%, and that time is so well spent.
Yes.
Even our website referrals are really great. Our website leads that come in, they convert much higher than industry standard. At our best last year, our rate was about 16% of a conversion rate, but still that doesn't compare to what a great referral from a local trusted source will
That's the
convert
truth.
at.
Well, well, speaking of, and you talked about that, you talked about organic, right? And
Mhm.
growing organically and website leads converting at a, decent rate of 16%. You, Jenny, mentioned earlier before we started recording that you rank in most of your markets above
Mhm.
the lead aggregator.
Yes, that's really important to us. One, local SEO is our focus. We want, if anybody is searching for our communities, to be on that front page, hopefully the top number one spot, at least the top three spots, for our area of expertise in those areas. Now, often lead aggregators are going to win on things like assisted living in or memory care in because they have a lot of listings, and that's how the web works. When you have a lot of links and links back to a site, it's going to rank higher, especially when they're getting a lot of traffic and they're getting a lot of engagement. It's just how the web works. But one of the big things is your name, you should always rank the highest. And I have had many partners say that that's impossible. And I'm like, no, go search my community's name. And if they are not the very top, then I'm doing something wrong. And so they search it. They say that community in that area, and we are top. And it should definitely be your website, and then it should be your Facebook page. Make sure that those are very top of the list. That lead aggregator needs to be below.
Mhm. Now, so what I'm hearing you say is if on that organic search of your community name or
Mhm.
Radiant and I'm in
Mhm.
a local
Yeah,
area where a community is, and you're primarily based in the Northwest, correct?
we
Yeah,
are,
so if I'm
yeah.
in the Northwest,
Northwest and Mountain Region.
got it, okay. So I think the question would be, how do they, two parts, how do they know to do
Mhm.
that? So how do you get your name, your brand, or the name of the community, unless I'm driving by it, right? If I'm
Right,
driving by it, I might, I'd like to learn more about that one. In into the minds and the conscious of those to
right.
organically search then.
Yes. So lots of ways to get out your name. And the name is like one piece of the puzzle of making sure that that's ranking. You want to rank with that first, and then you want to start working on the care levels because you do
Oh,
and
I
can get
agree.
those things to rank
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit more effort to get those above, but it's absolutely possible. And it's the same tactics to get both of those things ranked high. So first question, how do you get your name recognized? It's community awareness, it's the outreach, it's the events, it is your local advertising. It is even the wonderful partnerships you have with those ads that are going to be online that maybe people aren't clicking on, but they're seeing over and over and over again. And suddenly they're like, oh, I need to search for this. There's lots of those little pieces that come around, which is why multi-touch attribution is so great. Having the ability to see the journey of somebody instead of just being able to see their last click and what that last click was. It's really so useful in your advertising and your planning of your advertising and that budget of marketing. But I believe I actually listened to one of your podcasts recently where the speaker was talking about how important outreach was for even their web leads. And I've seen the same. Our communities that have great events, our communities that are out in the community doing things with the local area, their web leads are better and their quality of lead is better. So
yes, how do they find your website? Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's a victorious wheel instead of a vicious cycle.
Exactly.
And I 100% agree with you. We're very hyper local. Right. So the brand per se, it doesn't, you certainly want to be positive but that's not what people are necessarily going to remember. They know the one down the street or over there or by their work, the one they drive by, and that name recognition in their local, in their local town or city.
Absolutely.
That means everything. And yeah, I mean, how do you get people to go from senior living near me or an assisted living near me to Radiant Senior Living or one of your communities, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And to even be like, oh, wait, what was that name again?
Yes.
You're driving
exactly.
by. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the other piece is being able to rank for both your name and then also those care levels. Things that you really want to focus on online is you want to focus on the social media sites and your website on fresh content and often.
Yeah.
That's also hitting those keywords that you want to do, but the ones that are attached to your address. So
interesting.
There are tons of social media sites out there that will drive traffic. For my entertaining website, Pinterest is my best traffic driver, but my entertaining website doesn't have an address attached to it. We are local businesses that are communities. And so the ones that are going to do best for helping us rank locally are Facebook. It's attached to our physical address. Google business page attached to your physical address, and Google, which is the biggest search engine right now, tends to like its own products. So making sure you're updating your Google page at least weekly. YouTube somewhat can run into that lovely mix there because again, Google loves its own products and YouTube is now a Google product. So you can definitely focus on that if you've got some great video, but it's not so much attached to the address. So we don't focus a lot of effort there, but it's definitely a good add-on because video is very great at helping convert. Nextdoor is really helpful at getting the local awareness. Not so great at getting the SEO value, but local awareness because it is attached to your address and it's very locally based. So those little areas will really help. But our biggest focus ends up being our website, getting fresh content on there frequently and consistently. That's another key part. And this is the part I'm terrible about, but thankfully our sales and marketing specialist who is in charge of our content is incredible with consistency. So she is able to get the blog post up the same time, same date, every week. The social media posts, she gets them up frequently, same time, same dates. And then people are expecting those things. The site is expecting that refresh. And that's happening so frequently that it is helping our content get seen and moved up in the rankings and helping us rank higher.
lot of really good advice. And it sounds like there's a lot of positives, and certainly that have been happening and continue to happen. What are
Yes.
you looking at? As we're recording this, we're winding down 2024. Jenny, what's 2025's initiative for you?
Oh, we are launching new websites. So we are moving to a WordPress platform for our websites, which I'm very excited about. I love WordPress. And so it's going to be kind of a content marketing game changer for our company, but it also means a lot more content. And so that's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. I've got some new partners coming on to help with that. And so I'm excited about working with them. There is a lot of opportunity in our SEO, and I am excited about working on that as well. With our new web vendor, who I've done 2 websites with him now, and he's done incredible work for us. Hickey Marketing is doing all of our websites, and very excited about like kind of bucking the trends in senior living and doing new things. I gave him some big challenges and he met every one of them, his team did. And so I'm really excited about having those launch and seeing what we can do with them for 2025. One of my favorite things coming into this industry with different knowledge base and different expectations is I didn't come in with the same thoughts about senior living. I came in with what I would want to know about senior living and where my knowledge lot missing pieces were. And so my goal has always been to fill those for other people. And James and Jody and Radiant have been so great about giving me that leeway to like push things. We were one of the first companies in this area, at least, to put our prices on our website. It was one of the things that was like, we need to have that price transparency. And it immediately helped. And so excited about that. And now there are still companies that are wondering about that. And it's definitely been a trend that I'm seeing. And it's 10 years now. And other areas that we really need to get with the times on, and we haven't been able to, just due to capabilities between partners and platforms and those type of things. But we're going to be able to change in 2025 is a really robust email marketing system. I am a content marketer at heart, and so I know how useful it can be. And that's an area of opportunity for us. And I'm excited about seeing how we can bring that content to people in their inboxes and make everything a little bit more specific to people instead of mass emailing out everything to everyone.
Right, right. Well, we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing all of what that you do, and always looking forward to continuing partnering with Radiant Senior Living. Are you, if of all the things that you've mentioned, for anyone listening out there that's thinking, oh, where do I start? If I either want to rank higher or reduce the use or eliminate the use of aggregators or both, what's your advice?
First, make sure you have a strong digital plan so that you're getting enough leads.
Okay.
You don't need to have as many leads as what you're getting from those aggregators right now, but you need to have a good, strong, I think we had about 40% of our leads at the time were coming from our website. So have a good, strong pipeline of leads coming in, working with your digital partners, making sure that you have your website ranking locally, at least on the first page, so that you're getting some good traffic there. Working on that community awareness through Facebook, Google. I would definitely say Google business page would be an area of focus. If your time is limited, definitely be working on that weekly. And then once you get that to where you feel like that's a strong area, you can always go back. It's not something that is going to be turned off for forever if you feel like, oh, this isn't working for us. So turn it off for 6 months, a year, see what happens. And then if you need it back, they're going to be there for you. So that business is not going to go away. So
Jenni Bost, great advice. Looking forward to seeing more and more and more of all the great things that Radiant Senior Living is doing. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise. It's very good to get to know you a little bit better on the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. And thank you all for listening. Thank you, Model 55, for sponsoring this episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. And thank you all year long for supporting Grow and sharing and liking. If you feel that someone else would enjoy the content, we would appreciate a ranking, a rating, or a share. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next time on the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. This episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast is sponsored by Model 55. Model 55 provides turnkey model apartment and design solutions for senior living communities. Combining quick nationwide service with deep expertise in creating model apartments, Model 55's designs are more than just aesthetically pleasing. They are strategically designed to drive occupancy and sales. From custom designs to ready-to-ship kits, Model 55 has solutions for any budget. For more information, www.model55.com. That's model55.com.